Hello, IM1 students. This is Mrs. Kaufman, and we are going to be doing page 7 through 9 today in our chapter 10 packet. We're going to be looking at statistics and the mean, median, box, and whisker plots. All right, so here we go. What I want you guys to do is just write down a very basic definition for the following. Our mean right here is also the average. It's the average of whatever numbers that are given. And remember, when we take the average of something, we're going to add it all up and divide by the number of numbers we're adding. And if that doesn't make a lot of sense, we're going to clarify that in just a minute. The median is the middle number of all those numbers given. The mode is our most frequent number. And the range is where our number starts and where it starts. So what the min number is to the max number. So those are some very basic definitions that we're going to be describing sets of data. So here's one set of data. It talks about in a park that has several basketball courts, a student counts the number of players playing basketball each day over a 2-week period and then records the following data. So every number you see here is the number of players playing that day. So this day was 10, this day was 90, this day was 30. All right, so the second set of data, make that go away. Another park there has several basketball courts. Another student counts a number of players playing basketball each day over a 2-week period and records the following data. So this is 50 players that one day, 40 the next day, 30 the next day. So how are the two sets of data similar and how are they different? Well, the way that we're going to describe them is we're going to use the mean, median, mode, and range to describe the two sets of data. So to find the mean, I need to take all this and divide by 2. So not divide by 2, but divide the number. And let's count how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to write n is equal to 14. My n is the number of samples that day, or samples that we took over the 2-week period. So n is my number of samples. So I know I have 14. So when I add all these together, I'm going to divide by 14, and that's going to give me my median. So go ahead and get your calculators out now if you haven't done already. Let's see if you get the same number as me. And let me pull up my calculator here. 1 second. Where did it go? There you are. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate those numbers. So I have 10 plus 90 plus 30 plus 20 plus 50 plus 30 plus 60 plus 40 plus 70 plus 40 plus 30 plus 60. I know you can get lost in these numbers, huh? Plus 80 plus 20. That should be 14, which equals 620. So that's when I add them all together. Now I'm going to divide 620 divided by the number of samples we took or number of samples over the 2-week period, which is 14. And that gives me approximately 44. So I'm going to write 44 as my mean of my first set. So this is going to be 44, approximately. So now, just staying with the first set, I want to find the median. I want to find the middle number. Well, to find the median, I have to rearrange these numbers in numerical order. So I'm going to rearrange this. So 10 is my first number. My second number is 20. There's 20. And so I have two 20s. Then I have 30 and then 30, and then 30, so I have 3 30s. So remember, same data, I'm just rewriting it in numerical order. This will help us with the range and the range, the median, and the mode. It's really nice. Let's see here. And then I have 40. 1, 2. And then I have 50. And I have how many 60s? 2 60s. I have a 70, an 80, and a 90. Let's just make sure I count it right. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I still have the same sample size. Perfect. So now I want to find the median number. That means I want the middle number. So I have 14. So I'm going to go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.5 would be my median right here. So if the number wasn't the same, I'd take these two numbers and divide by 2. But because they're the same, I can say that my median number is 40. That's right in the middle. There's 7 on this side and 7 on this side. So my median number just has to be 40. Now my mode is my most frequent number. So let's see here. I have 3 3s. That looks like the most frequent number. So my mode is going to be 30. And then my range, well, that's the start to the stop here. So from 10, my least number, to 90. That's my greatest number. Okay, so I'm going to have you, when I check your work, you're going to be doing the second part on your own, just the way that I did it. So make sure when you show me your work tomorrow, I want to see that you calculated the mean, median, mode, and range for data number 2. All right, let's move on to the next part of this. So we're going to make a frequency chart. We've been talking about frequency a lot. That's the number of times something occurs or an action occurs. So for my frequency table, the frequency is our number of players. And I want you to really see that's what our frequency is. We're looking for how many times we count the number of players. So let's go to data. We're still working on data set 1. So I'm going to change this back to black here. And the number of times I had a 10 was just 1 time. So my frequency, the number of times I have 10 players in one day, is just 1 time. Why? Because in data set 1, it only occurs once. Now for 20, I have 2 times it occurs. So for data set number 1, from 11 to 20, it happens twice. And then for 30, it's 1, 2, 3. So for 21 to 30, my frequency table is 3. And then for 40, it's 1, 2. We'll put 2 here. For 50, it's just 1. For 60, it was 2. For 70, 80, 90 is 1. And if you're not sure, just go look back at that data set. You can see I got 2 60s, only 1 70, 1 80, and 1 90. Again, these numbers are how often I counted 10 players for that day. This, I counted 20 players twice for 2 separate days. I counted 30 players 3 times in 3 separate days. So that's what that means, that frequency table. So you're going to do, again, data set number 2, and you're going to show me it again tomorrow. All right, and now we're having a hard time here. Let's do that. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take this data from my frequency table, and I'm going to do what they call a line plot. It's going to kind of look like a histogram. A histogram looks like this, where I've got little squares that go up, little rectangles, but we're not going to use rectangles. We're going to use dots. And I'll do it in a different color here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a dot above the number that it occurs on my frequency table. So from 0 to 10, I had 1. So I'm going to put that 1 dot right here. So that's this one. From 11 to 20, I had 2. So I'm going to put 1 and then 2. And then from 30 to 21 to 30, I have 3. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And then for 40, I'll do 2, 1, 2. For 50, I'll do 1. For 60, I'll do 2, 1, 2. For 70, I'll do 1. For 80, I'll do 1. And for 90, I'll do 1. Again, I'm just putting the dots. The dots should match what's in your frequency table. And notice how there's like a little height. So it seems to go kind of up and down and then around again. So that's kind of how that looks. All right. So now for the last part of this, and again, you're going to do this for data set 2. Now, with those same data sets, we're going to make a box and whisker plot. So to make a box and whisker plot, it says put all the numbers in numerical order. Ha, we did that already. Find the median of all numbers. Well, for data set 1, let's go look back here. Our median was 40. Ha, already did that too. Now it says find the median of the lower set of numbers. We call that quartile 1. So let's go find the median of the lower set of numbers. And remember, the lower set for here is going to be this set. So I want to find the median. So I'm going to look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my median for quartile 1 is going to be 30. It's my middle number. That's exactly in the middle too, because I have 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So for quartile 1, it's going to be 30. Done and done. Now for median of the upper set of numbers, that's quartile 3. So let's go back to our data set. And again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember that number 4 was our median, which is 60. So I'm going to go back down here and write 60. Done. What's the smallest number? That was 10. What's our largest number? That was 90. Now it says plot all the above from the number line. Draw a box around the lower and the upper quartiles. Okay, so here we go. We are going to plot all these numbers here. So we have the median is 40. So when we do a box and whisker plot, the median is going to be that divider of our box. Now for quartile 1, it's also going to be the first end of our box. Quartile 3 is the last end of our box. So now we have our rectangle, I should say, our rectangle here. So this is Q1, that's quartile 1. This is the median, and here is quartile 3. Now, to get the whiskers, our whiskers go out to the min. So here's one whisker, and it extends to the rectangle of our box here. And then our max was 90. And that's how we extend that out. So our min, our max, our quartile 1, our median, our quartile 3. All right. So you will be doing that for data set 2. All right, and that's it. That's all done. So I look forward to seeing how you guys worked on this on your own. I will answer questions for you when I get back on Friday. And I hope you guys are having a good day. I'll see you on Friday.